how do these fucking people look at that chart, see themselves at the bottom of the fucking chart, and not feel awful about themselves? Not feel like, shit, I gotta do something. I gotta, like, fix this. I'd be embarrassed. And those are the people on welfare, Adam!
Look, they got their basic needs met. They were on the chart.
But anyway, yeah, that was the whole reason I brought this up, was to say that there's a bunch of people out there that I don't understand that will just skim at the bottom and just, I guess, be fine about it. And I don't get it.
Look, not everybody has to be top 3.
A-Team reigns supreme.
You know, there's this thing, it kind of reminds me, the whole checkmark thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand how much psychology you learn from playing World of Warcraft, Adam. Okay, it's kind of astronomical.
Well, I play Universe of Warcraft, so I learned all of that times 10.
So in World of Warcraft, you can get mounts, which are like little animals that you can ride around that make you go faster, right?
Nice.
It's a big deal because like a lot of the game is traveling, because you have to literally like real-time travel to a lot of different locations.
You mount animals?
Yeah, you ride like a little horse or a tiger or a dragon, you know.
Oh, okay.
Right. And like it flies around. But the mounts always became status symbols because like, yeah, like you could all get mounts that basically went the same speed and you could just buy them for gold. But like there would always be mounts that you would only get for like, you know, completing certain dungeons or high level raids or something. And people would just get and it was just for cosmetic purposes. Like instead of having like, you know, a dragon, you'd have a dragon that was made of light or something, right? And sometimes it was always funny to me because very oftentimes you could get a cool, like an objectively looking, cooler looking dragon from just doing some bullshit than you could doing some high level thing where you get some ugly looking mount. But no one cared.
The ugly looking mount would be the status symbol.
Exactly.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
So people they'd have the cool looking mount and they would never use it. They'd use the ugly, dumb looking mount and they'd just fly around a capital city, like showing off, like, look at my ugly ass looking mount. Because it just showed them the status that they completed, you know, whatever they had to complete to get it.
That's right, bitches. You wish you had this ugly piece of shit mount.
It's funny because I look at that and I said, oh, I finally understand why all these rich celebrities buy the super overpriced, ugly as shit looking watch and clothing. It's the same fucking thing. It's literally the same thing. Yeah.
It is.
Yep. So.
Status.
Okay. Solve status, baby.
See, this is why.
That's why communism will never work.
I know. I was going to say it. This is why communism is just never going to work. Yeah. Never going to work because people are status seekers. This is one of the things that make me think UBI will work. Because even though people are good enough to sustain their basic needs, I mean, doesn't everyone want a little bit more than that?
Yeah, but
doesn't everyone want the ugly mount?
Counterpoint, though.
Okay.
Only like 1 to 5% of the server population, thousands of people, would ever have the ugly mount. Most people in the server were fucking shambling retards that I don't even know how the fuck they played the game. They could barely, walk and chew gum at the same time in World of Warcraft.
Listen,
you don't you want to lose faith in humanity, Adam, in terms of like the ability for humans to do simple tasks. Okay, you play World of Warcraft. Like, fuck, my God, like I've been in so many raids. I'm like, what the fuck are people doing? It's like, it's not that complicated. Like, I get it. The first time there's a big dragon, he's breathing fire at you. You're like, oh, where do I go? Like, I get it. It's scary. You're like, oh, but like after you've done this like 20 times and you know exactly what you're supposed to do, like, fuck.
Listen, every one of those people
is
struggling to get the ugly mount, though. They don't have
They've given up. They've given up. Okay. They're like, I'm never going to get that mount.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Look, I would like to think that it's different. I guess we'd have to try it out to find out for sure.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because this is the thing that always drove me crazy when I played WoW. And I guess it's funny because this is my personality for like the streaming too. Like if I'm playing WoW, I'm like, okay, let me like research my character, figure out like the best way. I was always like base DPS. Okay. There's 3. Let me explain this very briefly, so you understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay.
It's more fun if I don't, but go ahead.
Right. There's 3 roles in World of Warcraft. Okay.
The
There's
hoe.
the tank.
Oh,
There's the tank. The tank's job is to basically take all the damage, as much damage as possible from the
okay.
enemies.
Okay.
Okay. Because usually the way it worked is when you're fighting in these big boss fights, a normal person would get instantly killed by a boss if the boss like sneezes on them.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So you had to have a specific person that would just like take the attention of the boss, and they just like
This
have to
sounds
take
like a
all the
role
damage.
I like. I might like this role.
Yeah, no, being a tank was great. I had lots of fun being a tank.
Okay.
Okay. It's very fun to be a tank. It was very like what's not aggressive. Very well, you had a lot of like apprehension because you're like, ah, like, but anyway, so usually the tanks, there's the tanks. Usually the tanks were like doing their tank thing, right? Then there's the damage, known as the DPS, stands for damage per second. Okay.
Okay.
Damage per second people are all fucking assholes. They're all
Why?
huge assholes. Okay. Because they're all fighting, because there's this thing called the DPS chart, which is a little mod that you download, and it would show you what everyone's damage was. And everyone would fight for each other to be the top of the damage chart, because that was the big dick energy. Say, I'm number 1 DPS in my guild, right? That was the big dick energy. It was the number 1 DPS. So all the DPS people are a bunch of fucking assholes, all fighting each other to be top DPS. And then there's
fighting
healers.
Against each other or fighting together against the boss.
Well, they're doing both. Like they're not like actively tripping each other up, but they're all fighting to get to the top spot, right?
And killing the boss.
Yeah, to kill the boss, right?
Right. How do you get higher up? More points on the boss?
Yeah, the more damage you do to the boss,
per
the
second.
higher the higher DPS would be.
Right. So I'm trying to do more damage than you're trying to do.
Yeah, we're all competing with each other to do more damage.
And where's the hoe come in?
Okay, and then the third person this is where the hosts come in, the healers, which no one gives a fuck about healers. Okay, you just sit back and you throw your little healy spells, you throw your little green hands, your white hands at people. No one gives a shit about you. Okay, unless they die, then they give a shit. But other than that, no one gives a fuck about healers. Okay.
So I got like a healer right on me, healing me up as I'm getting hit.
Yeah, like the tank would usually have a dedicated hoe who was just healing them specifically.
Okay.
And then like everyone else would have like there'd be a bunch of raid healers running around healing people.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
they're like the water boys.
Right. So I was obviously a huge asshole and was DPS. Okay. I was always the damage guy. I was always the huge asshole. But the thing that drove me crazy was that I guess because I'm very competitive, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna like research my class. I'm gonna research all of my gear. I'm gonna research these fights. I'm really trying my fucking brains out to get number 1 in the top slot because I'm so competitive. And I would usually get like in the top 3, depending on what the circumstances were.
Top
Sometimes,
3?
What of like 25
not top
people?
1?
Out of like 17. Well,
I mean, that's kind of soy, but
well, you have to understand that in WoW there were certain restrictions depending.
Only 27 people, and you couldn't even get the top spot.
It has to do with that. There were, without getting too nerdy, there are different fights that would.
Oh wait, we've already surpassed the nerd.
I know there are different fights that would, grant certain types of different classes more benefits than other classes. Okay, let's just say that.
Without getting too nerdy, huh?
Okay, but anyway,
we've already passed the nerd.
I would usually be in top. I'd usually be in top 3. Okay, usually be in top 3, no matter what class I played, because I was like fucking trying my balls out to always be top. And the thing that would drive me crazy is that there's all these fucking people, Adam, who don't give a shit. They're people at the bottom of the fucking chart picking their nose, and I'm like, what are these fucking pieces of shit doing? Just fucking try. How do you look at that? How do you look at that chart and feel good about yourself, Adam? How do you look at this chart? And it shows everyone up here. Everyone's doing 10 million DPS a second, right? And you're like fucking doing 4. You look like a fucking child. You're down there doing.
It is a child. That kid is literally 6 years old.
No, these people are not child. They're on voice chat. They're all fucking my age or younger.
No way.
They're all like 20 years old, 30 years old when I'm playing this stupid fucking game. And I'm like, how do these fucking people look at that chart, see themselves at the bottom of this fucking chart, and not feel awful about themselves? Not feel like shit. I gotta do something. I gotta like fix this. I'd be embarrassed. And those are the people on welfare, Adam.
Look, they got their basic needs met. They were on the chart.
But anyway, that was the whole reason I brought this up, was to say that there's a bunch of people out there that I don't understand that will just skim at the bottom and just, I guess, be fine about it. And I don't get it.
Look, not everybody has to be top 3. Some
Yeah, but
people just want to play the game.
Right, but that's the people complaining about UBI's things that they're saying they're saying that most of those people are going to be the people at the bottom of the DPS chart and they don't give a shit.
If all the shit's made by robots, who cares? Let them hang out at the bottom of the chart.
Okay.
Look, I think people will be enlisted by their families and whatnot to take care of aunts and uncles and family
I would
members
hope.
and stuff like
Listen, I would hope.
Look,
there's
sure.
darn kids in the chat. Carry me. Yeah, there you go. All these people want me to fucking carry them on my back. Gotta be like, okay, Sitch, whip out your dual wielding Frost Death Knight, carry me on your back, because I'm a fucking fire mage that somehow is still going below you in DPS, even though it should be literally fucking impossible. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, you should know about that. Fire mages were supposed to be top tier, all right?
Look, I'm the tank.
That's true. You're just like, whatever. You're like, as long as the guy's punching me in the face, that's literally all I care about, right?
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, right, but that's true. I mean, that's literally what it was. People just like, Anyway. But Rotisserie Protocol says, I don't need to be top. I'm happy to help the team. And that's why you're a healer. You're a heal bitch. You stay in the back and you heal me.
If I was a healer, I'd just make sure we weren't healing Sitch. Let him die.
Now, see, this is what you do. Like, if you were like top DPS and you're fighting with second top DPS, you're like, you go over to the healer and you're like, listen, I'm gonna give you like 100 gold not to heal them. Okay. When they stand in the fire because they're too busy DPSing and not surviving, I'm gonna, don't heal them.
Wow.
There you go. I'm not gonna take it back. Rotisserie Protocol. You get in the back and you heal. You heal me. You be a druid. You throw out your hots. Throw out your boring hots.
Exciting stuff, man.
Anyway. I'm telling you, the amount of psychology you learn from playing World of Warcraft is a lot. It's a lot.
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.